honestly, it's been a few days. I was waiting for the person to come help me put the subframe up, but I got busy, and then when I wasn't busy, it was hot as hell. It was almost 96 to 97 degrees every single day the last few days. Even right now, it's like 92, but the work gotta get done. We gotta get this subframe up, and I'm gonna try my best to get this up by myself. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be successful, but I think I'm able to do it. I just gotta be very careful, go slow, and just gotta make sure that I connect that drive shaft to the diff as we're going up rather than trying to do it after the fact. One thing I gotta make sure that we don't forget is these right here. We painted them a little while ago. As you can see, they were a little bit surface rust, but these just sit on here like that. And like that. And this entire thing will bolt into the car itself. As you can see, we got our little hub out. In the process, I did break the bearing. So that is a brand new bearing with a brand new C-clip. And when I was pulling it out, I guess I pulled it out at an angle, and the bearing actually kind of broke in half. So I gotta remove that, restart that process. But we got all of our bolts tightened up, all torqued down to the proper spec. And now it's just a matter of throwing this in. We also got our rear sway bar links connected to the trailing arm. Had installed our sway bar into the car itself. I think this is gonna be the easiest way to actually connect the two, because this thing still has a decent amount of movement, so that's good. And then we got our brake lines in, as you can see. So now it should be just a matter of throwing everything in. So I'm gonna put you guys down, try to get this thing in. Fingers crossed, hopefully I'm able to. If not, I'm gonna have to ask for some help from someone, which I don't really want to do. I don't like bothering other people with this. So let's see if we can get this done. Honestly, it wouldn't be working on the E30 without running into some issues. Now, I didn't notice this when we originally took the bushings, the stock bushings out of the car, but part of the bushing broke in the actual hole itself. As you can see right there, that's actually the aluminum that comes on the stock rubber OEM bushing, and it's stuck in that hole on both sides. That side is a little bit worse than this side. At least this side has something you can kind of smack on, hit on. But that one is actually like flush with the subframe itself. So I literally had the entire subframe lined up and ready to go. But now it looks like we'll have to pull this thing back and restart the process, because it's not gonna go into the actual placement where it's supposed to sit without having those holes opened up. I was so close. I'm not sure if you can see, but I got metal shavings all over me. And that's because I figured out how to take the little metal grommet piece out of the actual chassis. So we have that piece sitting right here. And like I said, it's aluminum. Luckily, it's not too hard. It's pretty soft. So any drill bit should suffice. But what I ended up doing was drilling into it, weakening it a little bit, and then I took a bigger hammer and the screwdriver and just kind of tapped it out. After reading the forums, it looks like this is a very, very common issue to have when you're dropping the subframe, and a lot of people run into it. The other option that you have to get that piece out is to actually hit the subframe bolt back up into the car. You pull that out, and then you take a 5/8 lag bolt and you basically turn that into that little aluminum piece and then kind of pull it out with a slide hammer, or you go from the top and you smack it out. Luckily for me, the drill bit method worked just fine, so I'm going to do that on the other side real quick, and then hopefully from there we can actually get this subframe in without any more hiccups. Honestly, I am this close to giving up on this car, honestly, just because it's taking so much time, and I'm running into so many issues constantly that it really kills the urge to finish this car. That was such a hassle to do. That side was a little bit tougher to do just because I didn't use heat or anything, and no WD-40 before starting it, so that took a little bit longer. But like I said, there's metal shards everywhere on me. Now that we have that done, I think we can go ahead and put this subframe into the car. I'm this close to just giving up. I've run into every issue possible. Nothing seems to be going right, and it kind of sucks because a 30-minute project turned into a 2-hour project, and that turned into 2-3 days when you're waiting for parts and, you know, all these other things. I need to keep trugging along and get this thing done. But the good news is we can hopefully get this subframe into the car now, or at least try to get it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it an attempt and see if we can accomplish it. I cannot catch a break. Lining up on this side, but on this side, that subframe bolt is like literally a 1/4 of an inch too far off to the left, so it's not lining up with that subframe hole. That bushing can't slide on. I'm trying to jack up the subframe a little bit more, but it won't go in because of that bolt. Like, look how close we are. We are inches away from having this subframe go in, but that subframe bolt refuses to budge. Now I don't know what to do. I need a break. That was so much harder than expected. But we got it done. Luckily, on both sides of the car, we got the subframe bolts tightened up, and we made sure that the subframe bushings kind of sat into that little hole, as you guys saw earlier, properly. So everything is now seated. We even threw in the rear subframe diff bushing bolt, so that's in there now. Everything is tight, or everything is hand tight. We didn't tighten it down just yet because the brackets right here still need to go on, which are these right here. So this sits kind of like this underneath the car. So this is for that side, and then we have the one on this side that's going to sit just like this. And we have new hardware for these threads right here, as well as the actual rear subframe bolts. Now the scary part, let's see if we did everything properly. Hey, let's go. Subframe is officially back in the car. So we're back, it's the next day now, and as you guys saw yesterday, we got the rear subframe in, and now it's just a matter of putting all the little stuff back together. The first thing we do need to do is remove this old broken bearing from the hub itself, since we broke this one. So I'm gonna quickly remove this and then get to putting the new one back in, hopefully. So we'll just slowly start tackling it, see what we can get done today. And I mean, yeah, the main goal is accomplished. That was to get the subframe in. So now that we have the new bearing in, which this time wasn't as big of a pain to put in just because I actually froze the bearing. It's been sitting in the freezer for 3 to 4 days maybe. And that honestly made it a good amount easier to get it back in. And I think I'm actually gonna freeze the hubs when I reinstall them, just so it's kind of the same process. I could be wrong, but I think when you freeze the metal, it shrinks. When you heat it up, it kind of expands. So, froze it, and I think it helped. But the last thing we need to do here, just toss in our new ring. There we go, got that. And looks like our hub is spinning okay. So I think we should be good. So just went ahead and tightened that bolt up right there, torqued that down to the proper spec. Now we're just gonna quickly install this right here. This is what actually holds that differential, the rear subframe up in place, and the nut kind of goes on the bottom side of this right here. This is the mounting point for the actual jack. So we're just gonna throw all that on with the new hardware that we have right here. And I think that's gonna be, according to this thing right here, we're looking for, where is it? Numbers 16 and 15. We'll just run into a quick issue, nothing too serious, but looks like our jack point reinforcement brackets were actually rusting, so sanded them down to mostly bare metal, like 90%, didn't want to waste too much time on it. And from there, I just put some chassis block on there. So hopefully, we'll pick back up tomorrow. These will be looking a little bit brand new, and we'll start installing the back on the car. So just like that, we got the last bits of hardware installed. As you can see, we've got the new hardware down there as well. And that wasn't as easy as it might have seemed. These holes were not lining up, so I really had to mess with the jack and push the subframe up at different angles to get these holes to line up. Now everything should be tight. I tightened the bottom subframe bolt to about 100 foot-pounds. Now online it says a little bit less than that, like 75, 80, something like that. So reading on the forums, they just said tighten it up like crazy. So that's what I did, and I'll check it again in a week or after a week of driving, see what happens. But honestly, it's hot, I'm tired. This video has been going on for so many days and we ran into so many issues. So if you're still here, thank you for watching, and that's gonna be it for this one. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.